In this video, we're going to be setting up a device to run large language models and AI agents. You could use an old laptop for this, but I'm going to use this little mini PC. Now, obviously, this device doesn't have a high-powered graphics card, but it does have a big hard drive and a little bit of RAM, so we're going to make it work. We're going to need a couple bits of software for this. The first is going to be Ubuntu. We're going to go down and download the desktop version. If you don't actually need a desktop user interface and you're happy with the command line, you can download the server version. The other tool we're going to need is Balena Etcher, which is going to create a bootable USB drive for us to install this with. So let's go ahead and install Balena Etcher. And I need my USB drive, which I have here. Let's pop that into my main laptop. And then we're going to flash from File, select Ubuntu Desktop, then select the target and click Flash. What that's going to do is it's going to create this boot disk, which we can then plug into the little mini PC or an old laptop. And when we fire it up, it'll boot the new operating system and we can install the operating system from there. Right, now that's done. Let's plug the USB drive into the little mini PC and then power that on. Now there's a key you have to press to get into the boot options. I think that is F2. Then if we scroll across the boot, go to boot priority. I'm going to put the flash drive at number 1 and the hard drive at number 2. And we're just going to boot off the flash drive when we rerun this. Let's go to F10, save and exit. And what we should see is an installation screen for Ubuntu. Here we go. So we got try or install Ubuntu. Let's press enter. I'm going to have to use the keyboard here until such time as I can get my Bluetooth devices set up. Okay, now it's installed. Let's restart. Move the USB drive. Press enter. So the first thing I'm going to do is install a Bluetooth keyboard and mouse. So I'm going to press the Windows key, and I'm going to type Bluetooth. And then if I go to number 1 and hold that down, so links this MX3 master, there we go. Let's connect to that. And then I also want to do the same with the wireless keyboard. And that's MX keys. And now I can unplug this horrible USB keyboard. From here, I'm going to try and set up with a graphics capture card so you can see what I'm doing on the screen. I've installed Chrome here as well. That's my browser of choice. And the first thing I'm going to do is download and install Olama. Olama is a framework for running large language models. So we're going to install this from the command line. Let's clear the console and now let's do apt install curl. And let's try this command again. Copy and paste that in here. It looks like we're in business. While that's downloading and installing, let's go and choose a model. So on the olama.com website, we're going to models, and I'm going to choose DeepSeek R1, and I'm going to choose the 14 billion parameter model. This goes all the way up to 671 billion parameters. I'm not particularly fussed about speed. I don't have the hardware to run one of them anyway, but the 14 billion parameter model is only 9 gigabytes, so I should be able to run that on this device, and it should run pretty nicely. To run this, all we're going to do is copy this command here, and then go back to the terminal. Let's clear this, and paste in the Olama command. Now that's going to pull a manifest and download the 9 gigabyte file. It's going to take some time, so let's come back to it once that's finished. Okay, it's finished downloading now. Let's try sending a message. That's running beautifully. So we've got DeepSeek running on this machine. We can also run Olama Serve to use this as a server to connect from other machines on the network if we wanted to. I'm actually going to run an AI agent from this machine itself, so I don't need to do that. So next thing I'm going to do is plug in a USB drive. I've just got all the files for my agent on. I'm going to copy these into my home folder. This agent is used to run the website at trainyalgo.com. The agent monitors Twitter for breaking news stories, particularly related to emerging technology and AI. Then it goes out and it uses the OpenAI APIs to create these articles, summarizing the content in an unbiased way, which is free from political agenda. But that's enough of my pitch for that. Let's see about how we can run this. So let's open up a command prompt and we can move into this directory, see the files. So I'm going to install Node.js. Let's do npm install. And let's try running node manager.js, right? We've got an issue here because the browser is set to a Windows file. It's here. So let's go ahead and change that. I need VS Code installed. I need a text editor. Text editor of choice for most developers is Visual Studio Code. It's a free tool built by Microsoft. Let's go. Even if you are doing assisted coding or vibe code, it's useful to have a text editor. You don't need to be a developer necessarily, but it's an indispensable tool just to edit config files and things like that. All right, let's see if we can see it. Visual Studio Code. And we've got that here. The error is coming from news.js in line 40. So let's go have a look at that. News.js. Oh, that's what I didn't want. If we scroll down to line 40, we can see this executable path here. This would be a good opportunity to use the large language model. So what I'm going to say is I have a line of code pointing to chrome.exe on Windows. Where would this file be on Ubuntu Linux? Sounds like it's in user bin, so let's try that. Let's type this in. You also need a way, it's fine for now. I'll also put it in so that it updates whether it's Windows or Linux, but we'll do that later. Let's try it. And we've frozen up, which isn't ideal. Let's try logging out. If it doesn't work, try turning it off and on again. Okay, we're back in the game. So we've got terminal open now. We've got, let's open up the news that we're having issues with. It was line 40, wasn't it? So we're setting the executable path to user bin Chrome stable. Now we should be able to run node manager right, and that should open up a version of Grok. We're going to collect these latest news stories from Twitter. It's going to run these through a little algorithm type thing. It's actually asking, I think, XAI API, which one it should choose. And then it's going to get that news story and then pass that to OpenAI APIs to create an unbiased story around it. So it's going to take this raw information from Twitter and then use AI machine learning algorithm to create a news story around that. And all the prompts and all this code is open source. We'll go through that in a sec. So the top story is OpenAI developing their own chips. And it's going to create an image around that as well. So we're using DALL-E to create a black and white 3D rendered image related to the news story. This website is hosted on GitHub Pages, so we need to update the repository with the latest articles. So let's run node manager deploy. That's not right. Clear node manager.js deploy. There we go, I've updated the local repository. Now, the final thing I want to do is just put in a little bit of code so that I can run this on Windows and Linux. And to do that, I'm just going to put if process.platform equals Linux, then change the path. So that means that I can actually run it on Windows and Linux now from both on any device. Now if we go to trainalgo.com, scroll down, you can see the latest news story is this one we've just written, OpenAI's custom AI chip, a bold move to cut video dependence. At the bottom of this page, you'll see there's a GitHub link. And as mentioned previously, all the code for this agent is all in here. If we go to prompts, you can see the exact prompts I'm using with the OpenAI API and the XAI API to generate this content and actually build the site dynamically. But that's something for another video. The final thing I want to do is automate this entire system. And if we go into the manager, we can see, if we scroll down, we've got this automate task, which just does a write, which is what we just looked at, where it goes and gets the data and writes an article, then builds site, and then it deploys it. So it does all three things at once. And all I need to do to run this is run node manager.js automate. So let's go and put that in a cron job. So I'm going to run cron tab -e. And so I'm going to add this cron tab command. What this means is at the 0 of every hour, so when the clock strikes the 0, so I change it to 30, it'll do it half past the hour every time. But on the 0 of the hour, or every hour of every day of every week, etc., it's going to run cd, which changes the directory to my home directory with the training algo file or directory, and then it runs node manager automate. Let's install this. Clear. Now that's going to run as an automated task in the background. I can disconnect the monitors now and just leave this running, which will create this automated news media website, which is unbiased and has no political agenda. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. If you get a chance, do check out the website and hit the like button to train the algo. Thanks for watching.